Hello and welcome to the PC Gamer PAX East PC Gaming Streaming Experience, streamed live from a PC. I am James Davenport and I'm an editor at PCGamer.com. With me is...
Hi, I'm George Jimenez, also a writer at PCGamer.com.
And today we're going to be streaming video games and the developers, talking to the developers who make them. With us first up is Ryan Clark, CEO of Brace Yourself Games. Happy to have you. Why don't you give us a little introduction and tell us some of the games people might know from Brace Yourself?
Sure. So yes, I'm the founder of Brace Yourself Games, but I was also the designer of Crypt of the Necrodancers. So that's the game that we would probably be best known for. We've also just this year launched Cadence of Hyrule, which is an adaptation of Crypt of the Necrodancer, but bringing in The Legend of Zelda. So that one's on Nintendo Switch.
Wild.
With fantastic music, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, Danny Baranowski did the music for both, and also he did the music for Industries of Titan, which we'll be looking at today. So yeah, we're known for dungeon crawling rhythm games, but we're also making Industries of Titan, which is a industrial city building sci-fi game. And
A little different.
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah.
And Phantom Brigade, which is a cinematic mech tactics game. So we got a lot of different types of games.
Fantastic variety there. But today we're going to be looking at Industries of Titan, and you brought a demo for us. Why don't you give us because it's a complex game. Give everyone sort of a top-down explanation of what they can expect to see in this game.
Sure. So, like I said, it's industrial city building strategy, but the way that it actually plays out is you take control of a dystopian sort of cyberpunk corporation, and you're going to Saturn's moon of Titan and exploiting it for its riches, as dystopian corporations are want to do.
Yeah.
Dystopian futures are very timely.
yes, it's true. So yeah, you go there and there's other corporations that are going to be doing the same sorts of things as you. There's rebels on the planet as well that don't like what you're doing. There's also a council that is kind of trying to get everyone to sort of play nice with each other, because these corporations don't really want to play nice with each other. They just want to take whatever resources they can find. Taking it from each other is totally fine. So the council sort of keeps you in line a bit. If you've seen one of our teaser trailers, you'll see there's a council ship that comes in that warns you that you have to pay your war bond for engaging in combat. So it's just in case your ship crashes into the city below, who's going to pay for that? That's you if you're starting the combat, right? So combat is totally fine in this hyper-capitalist society as long as you pay for it.
As it should be.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So things like that, and of course, dystopian type features like, there are migrants that come to the planet, the moon, also looking for riches, and you may choose to employ them, and if you make them your employee, you kind of inject them with chemicals that keep them awake for the rest of their lives so they can work for you perpetually. But you pay them for this, so their family has
so it's okay.
Their family has some
okay,
compensation for the fact that they'll never see their loved one again.
Oh, well, that's really considerate.
Heartwarming.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So why don't we dive into the demo? So what are we looking at today? This is a very complex game, many systems, and I think the limited time we have, we're not going to be able to see even scratch the surface, really, of what's going on.
Yeah.
And also, anyone watching on Twitch, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat, and the good ones I will ask.
So yeah, you'll see if you've played games like Stellaris or most 4X games or strategy games in general, they take like 10, 20 hours or something to play a whole playthrough. So we're going to be playing like 20 minutes of it or something. So you'll be able to see, sort of the beginning of the game. So initially you choose which faction you want to play. We're going to be launching in early access in the second quarter of this year, so not too long. But it's early access, so we're starting with just a single faction. So we're choosing the Landfallers here. And you're going to be able to choose different portions of Titan that you want to go to exploit, and they'll have different difficulties, types of resources, and amount of combat that you might encounter there. So we're going to launch our ship and head to Titan.
Lovely look.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Our art director, Sir Karma, is well known for his voxel arts. Also, Nick Gunn, our 3D artist who does all of the characters that you'll see, and of course the tunes you're hearing are from Danny Baranowski, who did the music for Necrodancer and Cadence of Hyrule as well.
It's got some range, that guy.
Yeah. All right.
So what was sort of the 4X inspirations for you guys when you were coming up with Industries of Titan?
not just 4X games, city builders as well, things like Factorio. So you do build factories that have production lines inside of them. We're still working on that feature. It will be coming probably during early access, but you'll see there's already a lot of content. But Stellaris, I would say, Master of Orion is something that I played a ton of when I was a kid. So a variety of different games. All right, so here we are on Titan. This is your headquarters. You start out with a little bit of territory, as indicated by this green line here. And this is the council that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
They're kind of keeping an eye on you and other corporations. And this is the spaceport. So these are the buildings you begin with. And you'll see your first 5 workers are coming down from the spaceport heading to your HQ. So you can begin to give them commands. And you can see Titan is covered. The surface of it is covered by various ruins. So there was a previous civilization here, and you're just showing up and smashing them and getting resources out of them and stuff like that because, like,
Cool. Yeah.
who cares about this former civilization? We want to prosper.
Colonialism.
Yeah.
It's great.
So not only do you play on the surface of Titan, but actually inside your buildings too. So if you double click on HQ, you can go inside of it, and you can actually place devices and things like that inside here. So you're building buildings on the macro scale, and you're building devices on the interior scale too. So one of our goals initially is to, as with many sim games, you kind of want more population, more workers, and the way that you get them is through this tab here, off-world migrations. So once we unlock this by getting enough artifacts, then we will start to see ships from other worlds coming, looking for a better life on Titan.
Right.
So yeah, one of our goals initially is to find those artifacts so that we can start to get more help, more citizens. So I'll start by surveying a bunch of these ruins. You see the little workers heading out to survey them.
Normal.
And you can survey the ruins that you don't even control.
Okay.
Because you have a certain amount of influence here, and you spend your influence to claim these ruins. And so if I'm looking for artifacts, I don't want to claim the ruins that don't have the artifacts in them. So we're going to scan a bunch of them, see what we find. And of course, you can speed up time. You can hit the space bar to pause at any time. It's real time with pause. So speeding it up, they're doing their work. All right, this one has 1. This one doesn't have any, but it does have some resources in it and also some waste, which we'll have to get rid of. This has some resources in it. Let's see if any of these other ones. All right, this one has 2, so this will give us enough.
Perfect.
If I claim this one, then tell them to go and extract it, then we'll have enough to start getting some migrants. But we actually need a place for those migrants to live. So you can see down at the bottom here, all these tabs show you all the different types of buildings that you can construct. Most of them are locked at the beginning. But eventually we'd be able to unlock the residential building where a large number of people could live. But at the beginning, you don't have the resources to do that, so you need to build habitat pods inside your HQ. So people will live right inside your HQ, right next to all your industrial devices and things like that. Yeah. It's cozy. It's fine. It's fine.
Would that make crunch easier for you guys?
Yeah, you just roll right out of bed, go to the office, no problem. So first off, I'm going to build a bit of a larger storage container. This little storage container was already getting full with the resources that we were harvesting. So they're bringing some resources over there to begin construction on that. And now they're building it. So while they're doing that, we can also go and claim some of these mineral patches. So these patches, we can assign a worker to, and they will just go and harvest minerals for them forever. Well, until it runs out of minerals. You can also get resources from the ruins too, but it's a variable amount, and eventually you run out of them. And these are isotopes. I'm going to claim a patch of isotopes and get someone working on that as well. Okay, so now we can build ourselves a habitat pod. So 2 people can live in here.
Oh boy, it's going to get crowded.
Yeah, but we also need, in order to actually power it, we need to build a fuel fabricator and an energy generator. So I'm going to speed up time so we can get to that stuff.
Getting Resident Evil 4 inventory management vibes right now.
Yeah, you have to kind of Tetris your devices inside your HQ. So you can build a factory, which is similar to the HQ, but just like a much larger floor. And eventually you can like connect buildings together and have super large factories. You can make multiple floors. The buildings get taller and taller. All right, so you can see it has a little warning here saying there's no energy. So we're going to build a fuel fabricator. So here's where the Tetrising comes in.
Oh boy.
And we'll build an energy generator, which I can jam that in there too. And then we're going to need to make a pylon. So this is this pylon will connect
A little big.
the power being
gotcha.
generated by the generator to the Habitat pod.
Oh, I see. Okay. This is supposed to be a very big UI challenge
Yes,
for you all.
definitely. Yeah, people ask us quite often, like, is this going to come to consoles and things like that? And
Absolutely not.
we hope so. If it sells well on PC, then we we'll consider it. But yeah, adapting
be a-
this to
it's gonna be
a controller is going to be interesting.
Best of luck.
But okay, looks like we have this powered now, and now it's just saying there's no citizens. So now we can go over here, unlock our spaceport, and you'll see that various ships appear. It tells you the name of them, where they came from, and how many people they have on it. So right now what we really want is more people.
Yeah.
So this one doesn't have any resources on it. This one has no people but minerals, isotopes, and some waste. So we're going to claim this one.
Come on in.
Yeah, and we'll go back to the city view and we can see them land here.
Some
And you
lovely scenery.
Yeah, you can see our little people are working on harvesting these resources.
And those just joining us in the chat, we are checking out Industries of Titan. This is a gameplay demo. And if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I'm Jorge Extra on there, so I'll do my best to answer your questions.
All right, here they come. So these are citizens. They are not your employees. You can make them your employees if you want to. Like I said, you
Make
have-
them?
Yeah, like a
You pay
emphasis.
them.
Oh,
Pay
okay.
them.
Or you can keep them as citizens and you can monetize them. I'll show you how to do that.
Finally, we can monetize people.
I know
They
you-
are resources in their own way.
You've been
Yes.
waiting. You've been waiting for this moment.
Human resources. per se.
Monetize some resources. Yeah, so you can see there are two different things you can do with your citizens. You can monetize them with a monetization station,
Oh my God.
or you can convert them into a worker with a conversion capsule. All right, so
It's depressing.
there we go. They're lying down
Yeah,
now.
send
They're
them to bed.
they're
Go to
having
sleep.
they're having a good time. So we need some more resources so that we can make one of these. Let's see where we can get some more resources. We might have minded this patch out. I'm gonna claim another one.
Boop, boop.
So what are the sort of victory conditions for it? Is there diplomatic, resource victories, like what? How do you win?
Yeah, so in the early access version of it that we're going to launch in Q2, there's going to be rebels that are based outside of the current fog of war. So eventually you can explore, like the world map is much larger than what we're seeing here. You can explore around and find them, and you need to take out those bases, and once you do, you win a sort of military victory. But we do have plans for like economic victories
Cool.
and political
Gotcha.
victories and things
Good
like
to hear.
that.
Good to
So,
hear.
yeah, want there to be a variety of ways to play. We've heard from a lot of fans that some people just want to do the city building. They don't even want to do the combat. Some people want to focus more on the combat because the combat, if any of you out there are familiar with FTL, it feels kind of like FTL, but you're designing the interior of your ship. So the way that you're placing the devices and stuff inside your HQ is exactly the same way that you place your weapons and your shields and things like that inside your
Yeah,
ships
it's kind of a
too.
whole other game on top of this whole
Yeah.
city building management
So
system.
I'm going to start monetizing these people.
All right.
Let's monetize some people.
Exploitation time.
And I can also show you what it looks like if you convert them into a worker.
Sure.
Just hit them over the head with a baton and work for me now.
Yeah. All right, so one of them's getting out of bed, gonna go over there, get monetized. So you can see they're just
He's
watching.
getting monetized. Is he just getting entertained?
He's watching advertisements
Oh,
so,
baby.
all day for us. So it makes some money for us,
I
makes
relate.
some money for him.
Yeah.
You can see the credits are starting to tick up now. Okay, so
This is starting to sound like one of our events meetings at work. Like,
So we don't have enough power for this conversion capsule, so I need to produce another energy generator. So I actually should also create a fuel tank so we can store up some of the fuel that we're making
Good.
here. And then once we have some more resources, I can make another energy generator. But you can see we're starting to get a bit cozy here in our
get tight.
HQ.
Yeah.
So what we can do is go back out to the city level, and on the production tab, we can make a factory. So once we start getting some more minerals, we can build a factory, which will just generate like a large floor space for us to be able to,
Gotcha.
expand further. And eventually, what you're trying to do, I don't think we're going to have time for it in this demo, but this is a mineral node, so you can build a mine and just mine it permanently because these patches will eventually run out, whereas
Okay.
the nodes are
Okay.
infinite. And this is one for the isotopes.
So those are going to be really important, like resources to control once
Right.
you start bumping into.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to compete with the other factions for those. But you'll also see that if we look at our storage container, it's starting to fill up with waste.
Uh-oh.
Because people make waste when we're destroying the ruins and stuff. It makes waste. Eventually, you need to make a smokestack to start burning it off.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
you'll see it here, smokestack. The issue is, though, that when you start doing that, it generates pollution, and your people will start to get sick. So ideally, you want to make your smokestacks near your opponents so that they get sick from your pollution, not you.
Of course, yeah.
So we have some good corporate sabotage in here,
Yes.
which is terrible.
Yes, that's not terrible.
No, it's amazing.
It's all in good fun, all in the name of capitalism. So I think we might have enough resources to make another energy generator now. See if I can Tetris it in here somewheres.
This is making me anxious. This is the kind of thing that I would
Bam.
spend hours on.
The Tetrising.
Oh, I would be paused for so long.
Well, is this pylon going to reach? It is going to reach that. So it gets even more interesting with the ship combat because normally your instinct is to Tetris everything as tightly as you can.
I remember
right?
this, yeah.
But in ship combat, you don't necessarily want to do that because you also want to be able to repair the devices. So if you can't stand, so the combat is tile based. So if someone shoots this tile, one of your workers would need to stand there in order to repair it. But what if someone shot this tile? You can't get there to repair it, right? So your ship is more fragile if you jam everything in, but it could be more powerful because you managed to fit in more stuff. So if you just put in a lot of shields, then hope that they never actually damage any of your systems, then you'll be fine. But once they break through your shields, you're not going to be able to repair. You're going to be in big trouble. Still saying not enough energy. Why is it saying that? It's generating 3. Huh. Possible that it's a bug.
Well,
this is still in
games are in development.
in alpha. Yeah, and I was going to mention that next week we are going to be starting our closed beta. So if folks are interested in getting their hands on Industries of Titan, if they follow us on Discord or on Twitter, then we're going to start giving out information about how people can get into that closed beta.
So we're going to be running out of time in a bit. Can you kind of tell us how this, like the city building, will kind of play out over the long term, articulate over the long term?
Sure. So yeah, you can see we've been focusing mostly on what's going on inside your HQ on the sort of micro level, but on the macro level, eventually you cover the entire surface of Titan with buildings, and then you bump up against your opponents and the rebels that, they have their own territory that's outlined.
Fighting over individual squares.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so then you will start to build ships and turrets and things like that.
Getting desperate.
But you're only allowed to attack their military installations, so like their HQ, their turrets, things like that.
Friendly warfare.
We're not monsters, James.
Well, unless the council can't see what you're doing, and then you can attack anyone. So, the council, we don't have this implemented yet, but this is the plan. That the council will have a vision radius around it, and so anything that's happening within their vision, you got to obey the rules, otherwise they'll sanction you or they may even attack you. But if you're doing it outside their vision, you can do whatever you want. And so you'll know that if you're building too far from the council, it's not safe, and someone could come and gank your settlement or something like that with no repercussions. So you can actually kind of cozy up to the council if you want. You can build more council halls for them so that it increases their vision.
Hey, buddies.
If you want to be goody-goodies and just
if you want to be a cop about
play by the rules, you can do that, and then that gains favor with them as well, because they're like, oh, thanks for the new council hall. We'll give you some more favor, and then you can use that to claim more territory, things like that. So in the long version of the game, you would be eventually salvaging all of these ruins. We're adding a tech tree, which is not in there yet, so you find different types of artifacts in the ruins that you use to develop new technologies. And you expand and eventually cover the surface of Titan, and like we were talking about, different victory conditions, so it can be military, it could be economic, political, that sort of thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. So this beta is happening, you say Q2-ish? Or no, beta,
early access Q2, yeah, the closed beta is going to be next week. Next week, real soon.
And I highly recommend everyone go check out the combat footage is out there. It's out there. It's been out there for a bit. If you want to get a feel of how different that is, it's like you said, very FTL. And I remember playing the demo and thinking I was being efficient, like you said, packing everything tightly together. I was like, I spent so long, and I got hit by one powerful blast, and it took basically everything out in one fell swoop. On fire, done for. and it was my fault.
Based on your
My
ship
fault.
design. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun
or-
trying to design the ships because you can have redundant systems because you could have like 2 power generators
Yeah.
so that if they take one out, you still have the other one. But then your ship is less powerful because you wasted more space by adding redundant systems. So
Yeah.
it's fun looking at the enemy ships and trying to figure out like what is their weak point? Is power their weak point? Is it fuel? Should I just take out their weapons? Do they not have very much crew? Should I just target their people and kill them? That sort of thing. So yeah, unfortunately we're not getting to that in this demo, but I think you can kind of imagine
Yeah.
what it would be like. Imagine that this is a ship instead of the interior of a building, and you're targeting different tiles to choose what.
And like you
systems want
said,
to take out.
Factorio, mentioning Factorio, like I've seen some like clips of late game city-esque stuff, and it's just these winding paths of efficiencies and internal like exploitations of people and resources, and it's a crowded, claustrophobic, dystopic nightmare, and but
Polluted.
somehow also like very soothing and pleasant at once to kind of play this. You know, it's got the same feel as this kind of this genre does. Just a little kind of a sick knot in the bottom of your stomach.
You know, it's
throughout.
not quite right somehow, but
Yeah.
it looks beautiful, so it's okay. Yeah, eventually the whole city is filled with you eventually start adding roads, because right now your
Yeah.
workers, they're manually walking out to salvage those ruins and carry the resources back one by one. But once you're getting resources from these nodes, you start mining them in mass quantities, and you don't want your people carrying one
Yeah.
resource back to the HQ, so you build a road out there. And then eventually your citizens start using the roads for their own personal reasons, so they get cars and they're driving on the roads as well. So yeah, eventually this whole thing is covered. And like I was saying, you can build extra stories on this. So this is just a level 1 factory, so you could make a level 2, level 3, and then you have multiple floors of space rather than just one.
My God.
Oh, neat.
You just have them stacked up on top of each other.
That's awful. I love it.
Yeah.
Claustrophobic, yeah.
Thank you for this disturbing yet soothing vision of our
It's- yeah.
future.
Our pleasure.
It's kind of funny how well, and maybe you can speak to this, like this genre, you don't really have to try very well. I'm sure you guys are trying very hard, but it kind of just naturally is exploitative, and the way people play them and kind of mine the design for those efficiencies, it kind of just maps really well to a dystopic corporate setting.
Yeah,
So,
if you think about what you're doing in most 4X games or city builders or whatever, you're basically a dictator. You're
Yeah.
just like this,
Yeah.
this,
If it's-
and they're just
if it's
pretending like, oh, you're the mayor, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're just.
Work, take this pill, don't sleep. It's fine. Efficiency.
Exactly. So,
You'll thank me later.
We're just calling a spade and saying, it's really dystopian.
Okay. So before we go, I want to mention like Brace Yourself for Games is also working on another very PC game.
Right.
Phantom Brigade.
That's right.
Do you want to we don't have footage of it right now, but do you want to just kind of give a brief overview of what that game's all about? 'Cause
Sure.
It's very much in the PC gamer wheelhouse.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a cinematic mech tactics game.
Yeah.
So we are definitely big fans of mecha anime and also tactics games like XCOM. But one thing we felt is kind of missing from those types of games that mecha anime have is like the cinematic feel and also like the one versus many sort of thing where it's like one mech or a small group of Gundams or something like that can take out large numbers of enemy units.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to think of a way that we could make a tactics game feel more cinematic. So what we did is it's kind of real time but turn-based. So everything happens in 5-second increments of real time. So you plan out your moves, or enemy plans out their moves, and then you hit execute and you see what happens.
Gotcha.
The twist is that you can see what the enemy's going to do before they do it. And so that's how you get to be kind of like the Gundams and take out large numbers of units at once, because I know that tank is going to move here, that enemy mech is going to go there, they're going to fire in this window. So I'll shield while they're firing, and then I'll drop shield and run up close and shotgun them, that sort of thing. So and it all plays out like in real time. So instead of in other tactics games where one unit walks up, shoots,
Yeah.
the next unit walks up, shoots, it all happening simultaneously.
old.
Yeah, you almost like give them a script. And what I like is the interface design,
Yeah.
where it's almost looks like if you ever use a video editor, you
Right.
kind of have a sequencer on the bottom that kind of maps everything out, and then you hit play.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like you said, it's like your favorite mecha anime where you're like, your robot guy's skirting behind a building while it's taking shots from a tank. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's fun dragging the little bars around on the timeline to say like, okay, this is where they're shooting, so I'll shield just in this period, and then I'll start firing afterwards.
Yeah, that's Phantom Brigade. Go look that up. And Ryan, thanks for showing us this demo. It's on the show floor here too.
Yep, we're here at PAX showing both Phantom Brigade and Industries of Titan.
Yeah, so you can get a little more time with the demo and really poke around to systems and interfaces and soak in that terrible, terrible dystopic feeling.
And I think you guys gave us a trailer, cinematic trailer, so we'll take a look at that before we say goodbye.
Sounds good.
We're going to take off. We're going to see you guys in a bit, and we're going to talk about our favorite games of PAX East so far. That was George Jimenez. That was James Davenport. And Ryan, please give Twitters and all that fun stuff for Brace Yourself Games.
All right, we're at BYG_Vancouver is our company, and at Industries Game is the Industries of Titan Twitter if you want to follow us and find out about our closed beta coming up.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Mother 9, I'm dropping in.
Copy that. Slab C-43 is all yours. Welcome to Titan.
HQ, this is Cam 6. Traffic down here is a mess. You need these isotopes today, you better send a bird.
That's a negative. Birds are busy. Make it happen.
Unidentified vessel. This combat is unsanctioned. Post your war bond or face judgment. War bond received. You may proceed.